YouTube, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another video. And in this particular video, we got something a little bit different because on my last video, I had a Kevin Love or two Kevin Love builds, and somebody commented something interesting on that video where they practically commented on it and said the following. Hey man, just subscribed. Do you think you could figure out the most physical center build of NBA history? Elmore Smith, aka Elmore the Rejector. And I was thinking, you know what? I could try to make a build that is similar, but also like with the name Elmore the Rejector. I'm just like, okay, obviously this has to be somebody that is very, very good at, getting the boards and whatnot. But one thing I decided was to go ahead and take a look at his stats and see if that there are any records of him. And there is. On Basketball Reference, he is obviously in there. Elmore Smith has played, obviously, since 1971 all the way until he practically retired in 1980, although in the 79 to 80 season he did not play due to a knee injury, so that just kind of dampened his play a little bit. But obviously, not only that, he did become an all rookie player, but not only that, but within just his third season in the league, obviously this player has also played for the Lakers when this happened. So Elmore Smith led the league in blocks. Yes, he was the 1973 to 1974 NBA block champion. And he wore number 3, and he's played on 4 teams throughout his career. He started off in Buffalo with the Buffalo Braves, and then went to LA with the Lakers, then went to the Milwaukee Bucks, and ended his career in Cleveland with the Cavaliers. Wore number 3 throughout all 4 of the teams that he's played with. But taking a look at his stats, obviously we need to take a look at, some of his better stats, because there is no block stats for his first 2 seasons. So with his first 2 seasons, there is obviously every other stat. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move over and show you guys each of the stats and tell you what I was thinking of when trying to make this build. So we have Elmore Smith here on, obviously, Basketball Reference, as I was mentioning. First round, third pick, the third overall pick of the 1971 NBA draft. Kind of crazy to think about. But here, obviously, as you can see, I was saying that he was wearing number 3, block champion for a season, all rookie team as well. He was second in Rookie of the Year voting, which is pretty neat. But he played 2 seasons in Buffalo before moving to LA, played 2 seasons, then was in Milwaukee for like about a season and a half, and then went to Cleveland halfway through that season, and then played another 2 full seasons in Cleveland after that before not playing the next season at all due to an injury, and then retired from the league. So it says right here, if we go down to career high, numbers, career high in assists is 9, career high in steals is 6, career high in blocks is 17, career high in rebounds is 26, career high in points is 40, and then has 6 triple doubles, which is pretty cool. But one thing that we got to take into consideration is the fact that, hey, guess what? Not only was he the league leader in blocks per game, in one season pretty much, in the only season that he has gotten his 6 triple doubles in was the season that he actually did lead the league in blocks per game. So with that being said, let's talk about all this here, because he's got 4.9 blocks per game in his practically like MVP season, if you kind of want to call it that, just because that's where he's got the most blocks. And he's not really much of like an assist guy. Obviously, this was like kind of the era where your main focal point of a lot of teams are the big men trying to score inside the paint. But obviously not the best free throw shooter as well. Just never shooting over a 69% from the free throw line. But being, pretty average from the field altogether, scoring as high as a 53% from the field altogether, but obviously not averaging as many field goal attempts and also not playing that many games. But if we take a look here with the 81 games here, or the 81 games here, where he's averaging about a 50% field goal percentage, a 66.3 free throw percentage, obviously not grabbing as many rebounds as before, not getting as many assists or steals or even blocks for that matter, and, not scoring as much as he did like practically up here. So it's just a lot of things to take into consideration when trying to make a build based on somebody like this. So obviously he wasn't necessarily the best scorer of all time, considering that he was just practically known for being a blocking machine. Does that mean that he's able that he's not able to score at all? No, but he's able to at least score a little bit. Now, the main focus point here is I want to take the fact that his best stat is his block rating, being at a 4.9, practically 5 blocks per game, with 81 games played in that season with his first season in Los Angeles. And then not only that, but he was still averaging over 11 total rebounds per game, even though like his best rebounds per game season was his rookie season, grabbing 15 rebounds per game. And then also, it's not like he was the best free throw shooter, but only averaging 3 free throw attempts per game and hitting 1.8. So a little over 50%, obviously, reaching about 59% here. As you can see, the 0.59, so reaching 59%. So he can obviously hit the free throw. He can obviously score a little bit, with a 45.7% from the field altogether. We got to make a build that's, able to score a little bit on the inside, because there practically was no like shooting. Obviously, you could shoot from anywhere in the court and it would still count as a 2-pointer, but there was no 3-point shooting. And, practically bigs in that era just never even took jump shots really at all. So that's something that we can take into consideration. But obviously, taking into consideration that he was also a really, really good rebounder and was able to get a lot of blocks, that's kind of like the main focus point for this build that I had in mind. Like being able to be strong in the paint, obviously by being able to post up a little bit, not too much though, because a lot of our attributes are going to go into rebounding, block, and our interior defense because of us needing that block rating and also anchor. Anchor is kind of important here. So we're going to try to focus on Hall of Fame anchor. We're going to try to focus on Hall of Fame box out. We're going to try to focus on a lot of like interior badges, but not a lot of scoring. That's going to be the key thing. We're not going to score a lot. We're going to be able to score, but we're not going to, be like an insane scorer. Because Elmore Smith was not really a scorer. As you can see, his best season in terms of scoring was this season here, where he had 18.3 points per game. But obviously, we don't have any block stats here or any steal stats, and just in general was shooting under 50% from the field as well, practically having the most field goal attempts per game in this season as well, practically just about the same as his rookie season. So obviously his rookie season and his second season are probably his best seasons, obviously, besides this season here, where he was actually scoring over 50% from the field and 63% from the free throw line, was still able to grab boards, was still able to get blocked and everything. So this is kind of like the middle of the pack here. Was his first year in Milwaukee. That's kind of like the main bread and butter if you want to make a build like this. This is kind of like the stats that you want to see. But obviously, trying to take a little bit of everything and seeing how, everything is in terms of, 2K in the builder, we can only do so much. So now with all the information that we have, let's go back to the builder and let's go ahead and check out what I was able to put together. So like I said, the basic idea was practically to have, strength, being able to get some blocks by practically having like a 99 block rating, having a high rebound as well, having a high interior defense. We're going to add a little bit of steal just so we can at least, get into those passing lanes, get some tipped passes because he did get steals as well. That's something that he did do. But it's not like we're going to be able to necessarily guard the perimeter or handle the ball or anything like that. He wasn't that much of a passer either. So we're going to have like a little bit of a pass accuracy, but nothing too crazy. Just enough for us just to grab the boards and, pass down the ball off the boards during fast breaks. And then we're not going to increase our 3-pointer or mid-range at all. Mid-range is practically just going to be determined by our close shot, really. And we're going to have a little bit of post control. I'm not really going to worry about the standing dunk or the driving dunk or even the driving layup for that matter. Like, our scoring is strictly going to be coming from the post control and the close shot. But like I said, we're not going to focus mainly on that. We're going to be able to score using those stats, but they're not going to be like super insanely high where we're going to be able to score every single possession. No, this is still team basketball. So with this, I came up with this, where we have the 84 close shot, which does give us silver whistle as well as measure on gold. And then also with like the stats here that we do have hook specialist, we have dream shaker, we have post fade phenom, even though it's not going to matter because we're not going to be able to shoot from the mid range at all. But from close up, we can do it. We have fearless finisher, we have fast twitch as well. Not only that, but we have pro touch and Hall of Fame. So that's going to be pretty good as well. The 50 driving layup is not really there for our sake, but it's there just because, we upgraded everything else. Same with the driving dunk, same with the driving dunk as well. So driving and standing are both at a 60 because why not? And then also post control here, as you can see, is an 85. The 85 does give us unpluckable on silver, but it's just also high enough to where it's like, okay, well, we can get back down punisher on gold. We can get drop stepper on gold. We have post fade phenom, as I mentioned as well. And that is also on silver, same as unpluckable. But then we also have gold post spin, gold dream shake, gold hook specialist, and then we also have bronze post playmaker. So at least we can, grab down boards from offensive boards, or if we're posting up, and then we can pass out. Then we have the 44 mid range, which obviously gets increased because of our close shot. And then we also have the 61 free throw as well, which also does help us with the free throw, which also does make sense because if we're going to be shooting like roughly 60% from the free throw, this is practically like the stat to have it at. We have a 69 pass accuracy because that does give us special delivery. And then we also have it at a 68 for break starter as well. So that's practically where we just increased it. All right, sorry about that weird cut. My dog was barking for a second there. I had to see what was going on. But the 69 pass accuracy, we also have the ball handling increased as well because of our post control. That's something that you guys would have to take into consideration when making a big man build, is that your ball handling and your post control are practically linked. So whenever you get to like a 75 plus ball handling or 75 plus post control, then that's when your ball handle also will start increasing after that point. Then we went with the 88 interior defense. The 88 interior defense is practically what gives us our gold post lockdown, which is pretty damn good. We wanted to be physical. We wanted to be strong in that paint, be able to get like them set up to where they're not able to score inside, but they try to. We can lock them down and then, send their shot off, be able to also block shots consistently with Hall of Fame anchor. We also have the 60 steal rating, as I mentioned before, with that interceptor badge on bronze. Then we also have the 99 block rating, which is what is required for Hall of Fame anchor. And also with everything that we have as well, we have silver chased on artist, and then we also have gold pogo stick, which is pretty damn solid. Not only that, but we have an 80 offensive rebound. I feel like an 80 is just pretty fair, considering that we have a 93 defensive rebound, where we are also able to have Hall of Fame box out beast and gold rebound chaser on top of our gold pogo stick. And then our speed is a 60, just so we can get up and down the court a little bit faster, as well as the reason why we have silver chase down artist, as you can see. And then we have a 46 acceleration, practically getting the 45 from getting to the 60 speed, and then adding one more just for added measure. Then we have a 90 strength, not a 95, but a 90 strength, because the 90 is what was needed for a Hall of Fame box out beast. And the 90 is also really, really good just because we also get back down Punisher on gold. It's not like we're going to be able to get a Hall of Fame with the other stats that we have. Post lockdown as well, if we were able to increase our interior defense to a 96, we'd be able to get it on Hall of Fame, but that's nothing too crazy. And then the 90 strength as well does give us the gold immovable enforcer badge, which is pretty solid, as well as does give us brick wall and gold, as well as box out beast in the Hall of Fame. So it's a really, really good threshold, in my personal opinion. It is a really, really good threshold to reach, because it's like right here, you have bulldoze improves the ball handler strength and overpowering defenders is not going to be necessary, even though it only requires strength and not ball handling. Even though it's a ball handle specific badge where it says improves the ball handler strength and overpowering defenders, which is mostly for driving and doing layups, but we're not going to be driving that much. We are going to be posting up. So I don't really think there's a point in having that as high as possible, which means that the 92 strength needed for it is not really important. So I feel like we also have the 75 vertical because of Pogo Stick, as well as Chasing Artist, and Aerial Wizard is here as well. But it's not going to be, super, super crazy there, other than just having Chase Down Artist and Pogo Stick, which is pretty damn solid. Then having the 97 stamina, maxing the stamina out as much as possible, just so we are not running down the court once and then immediately needing to take a Gatorade break. But I feel like these stats are pretty solid for what they are. I mean, it is pretty difficult to try to make a build based on somebody that you've never seen play at all. Obviously, it's well before my time, obviously, considering that I'm an early 2000s kid, and they played in the late 70s, in the early to late 70s. So, yeah. Consider me uneducated on Elmore Smith. This was the first time I was hearing of this name as well, so that's why I also did some research and came up with this build as well based on the stats I was able to find. And look at that, we have Los Angeles Lakers, but it's not who you think it is. No. It's Los Angeles Lakers, Wilt Chamberlain. And then we also have Rudy Gobert, Clint Capella. We got a defensive anchor man, the 7-foot defensive anchor. Obviously, I don't know how long his wingspan actually is. I just know that he's 7 foot, 250 pounds, listed on a Basketball Reference as well. So there you have it. Here is like an Elmore Smith, type build. I knew I wasn't going to be able to get Elmore Smith as, the shades of, obviously, because usually only the big names on there, and if I haven't heard of him, I probably can guess that he's not going to show up on here. Obviously, I can take a look through the rosters and see if he is on the rosters on one of the teams, and see if he does have a build there that I can look at. But other than that, this is me trying to create it from scratch, basically just based on what I've seen on his from his stats per game, and just coming up with coming up with a game plan on here's his stats, here's what he's good at, here's what he's not good at, here's what we're gonna do. So that was kind of the plan all along, and I feel like I did a pretty good job. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Elmore Smith, insane shot blocker, can grab rebounds, can score a little bit, but most importantly, he can defend the paint. Anyway, that's going to be it for this video. Hope that you guys enjoyed. I'll see you all in the next one. Later, everybody.